So we have it. Our brand new Ring of Honor players have been announced, and it's Tim Krumrie and Corey Dillion. Very awesome, very exciting for these two. Obviously, last year we talked about Corey Dillion, and there was some controversy because he already wanted to be in the Ring of Honor. And now, a year later, he is in the Ring of Honor. So, very exciting for him, and very exciting for Tim Krumrie, who is arguably one of the best defensive tackles, nose tackles in Bengals history. And obviously, Corey Dillion, who's one of the best running backs in Bengals history. And there's a lot. If we're really, getting down to the nit and gritty here, there's a lot of players who should be in the Ring of Honor, right? And over time, they will be. It takes time. It takes, it's not just an overnight process here. Every year they add 2 more players in. So all these guys will eventually get in there. I think Boomer actually said that last year when Corey Dillion was upset, just saying, hey, man, eventually we're all going to be in. It's just a matter of time at this point. So Dillion, who rushed for 8,061 yards from 1997-2003, returned to the building where his NFL record, 278 yards against the Broncos on October 22nd, 2000, gave the Broncos their first win in Paycor Stadium. Which, again, very exciting for that. He says, excuse me, that is it. That is what it's supposed to be, said Dillion after the Bengals president Mike Brown gave him the news. It meant a lot for me to hear those words. You deserve to be in there. And I was like, I appreciate it. I deeply appreciate it. I just told him thanks for drafting me and allowing me to grow. He thanked me for everything I did for the organization. It was a good conversation. It didn't. Brown recalled how opposing teams rigged their defenses to stop Corey Dillion during 6 straight 1,000-yard years. It didn't matter. He would just run through them as though they were in a passing setup. And yeah, I mean, again, Corey Dillion already, if you go to the all-time leading rushers for the Bengals, Corey Dillion was an absolute monster. And obviously there was, I don't say bad terms, but definitely wasn't pretty when he left us and went to New England. But still, it is what it is. He went to New England, had a 1,600-yard season. But from, 97 to, 2002, every single year this guy had over 1,000 yards. 10 touchdowns 2 of those years. So, again, absolutely deserving of it. And then, again, the other guy we have here is Tim Krumrie, which, right here, which, he was the 10th round, drafted in the 10th round in 83 draft. It's still weird to me, I know back in the day there was more than just 7 rounds. It's still weird to me about that. What was there, back in the day, was it 17 rounds, I thought? There was a lot of rounds back in the day. But then you got Krumrie, who did play for us, again, for his whole entire career. He was our nose tackle. Absolute animal. 34 and a half sacks in the whole entire career, which lasted 11 years. Excuse me. He also came in. What is this? Is this all pro? NFL All Pros. Okay, yeah. So he was on the All Pro team. That's exactly what this is. Okay. So was he on the first team or the second team? I think he was on the second team All Pro. His how many years is that? 4 years into his career. He was a Pro Bowler back-to-back years. He came in 7th for Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. And he was an AP1, so All-Pro first team in 1988. But in 1987, he was a second team, which is still an amazing honor. Don't get me wrong, First team, second team, it doesn't matter. That's still an amazing honor to be on. In his career, he did go ahead and have 3 forced fumbles. And that's really all there isn't much more. And again, when you go back to the old days, like the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and also the 50s, sometimes certain stats don't always get recorded correctly or posted correctly. The 80s, not really as much, but you go back to the 50s, and I know, for example, there was a sack, the best sack leader of all time, I think, unrecorded, was that Bruce Smith? Not Bruce Smith. I think it's Haley. He is like the best sack leader of all time. But back in the day, they didn't record stats like that. So, again, you go back, you don't always see how dominant the player is based on stats. That's what I'm trying to say. Especially because, again, as a nose tackle position, your job is to shut down the run. You're not an interior pass rusher. You're really just a guy to swallow up the run game. But tell me down below your thoughts, opinions, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.